Councilmember Comnic.
Here.
Councilmember Colomer.
Here.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Here.
Councilmember Baker is absent. Mayor Moore.
Here. I'd like to ask everybody in attendance to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence in honor of our troops. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The following items have been placed on the consent agenda, are routine in nature, will be passed with one vote of the council. Should any member of the council or the audience wish to have an item removed from the consent agenda for individual consideration, please say so now, and it will be removed and considered following approval of remaining consent items. Consent items include minutes from the council meeting on March 23rd, 2026, payroll for the pay period ending March 21st, in the amount of $239,698.54, and for the pay period ending April 4th, in the amount of $248,512.32, as well as staff reports. Do we have a motion to approve consent agenda items?
So moved. Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Next, we have the approval of bills for April 13th in the amount of $628,628.37. Do we have a motion to approve payment of the bills?
So moved. Second.
And any discussion? You're thinking awful hard over there.
Yeah, just going through all the notes, but yeah, I don't think anything further. Thank you.
You say nothing?
Yep.
Okay. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. We will move on to public comments. If there's anyone that wishes to address the council regarding anything that is not on the agenda, please step up to the microphone and state your name. Please bear in mind that there is a 3-minute time limit per speaker. And when there's no one else, we'll move on to the new business. Anybody wish to address the council at this time? We'll move right along to new business. We'll start off item A, bill number 26-26, resolution appointing a city manager for the city of Kewanee. This resolution will appoint Kewanee's next city manager. Upon the passage of this ordinance, Casey Mitchell will serve as the 3rd Kewanee-born raised city manager and the first ever female city manager that our city has had. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
And any discussion? I would just like to say that I think we're getting the best candidate possible for this position. I think it is reflected by all the comments that I've received from department heads, and congratulations. So, please call the roll.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
That's a big item.
Thank you. Just to take the spotlight for a second. Again, I've told the department heads multiple times I couldn't do it without them. Without them in place, I would have never agreed to be the interim, and without their support and staff and my family and everybody and council as well. Most of you know I was not interested in the position in the beginning, but with everybody's support and everything, I'm happy to serve Kewanee in this position.
I know we've got a lot going on tonight. Would you like some pictures?
Yeah, we'll do a couple things.
Family?
Oh.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And moving on, bill number 26-27, resolution authorizing the city manager to execute documents for the renewal of self-funded insurance plan with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois for the plan year 2026. If passed, this resolution will continue the city's self-funded insurance plan through Blue Cross Blue Shield and will be handled by Cottingham and Butler. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
Is that them on?
Are we,
Yes, we have representatives from Cottingham and Butler with us today to answer any questions you might have for them.
Yes, right here. It's a little muffled when the folks speak up at the podium, but, we can hear.
We'll have them
So-
speak louder, but.
I mean, really the questions surround some of the price increases, primarily for retirees. Can we answer some of those questions of like how?
Yeah.
Like, is the percentage of increase proportional between employees and retirees?
No.
Or how is that happening and why is there?
So every year, we basically go out for bid, and we have to give them the at least last year's worth of claims. Now, right now, we do have some very high claimants, because of different medical issues, and so that's always obviously a hindrance, for some insurance companies to take us on. We did have one bid that came in a little bit lower than Blue Cross, but it wasn't enough to go through the disruption, for all of the employees to possibly have to change doctors, those kinds of things. So then we negotiate with whoever we choose, to try to get a little bit of savings on our stop loss or on our premiums. For our stop loss, we cover everything up to $65,000, and then we get reimbursed for anything over that. And we do have a good handful of people that meet that amount. So when we go out for bid and we get all of that, we are kind of subject to whatever premiums are available to us. Retirees pay 50%.
That's set up when they retire, that's
Yes,
non-negotiable.
if they're gonna, and it's, yes.
If they choose to stay on the insurance for the city.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then with everybody else, they're on union contracts, so we have to agree to that 3 years at a time. And so we try to base that on kind of what we're seeing premium-wise without, again, too dramatic, and something that we can agree on with all of the unions. So unfortunately, with the high claimants that we've had, and everything, this is where our premiums came in, and we, again, when we know that amount, once we have that finalized with everything besides your approval, we send that out to retirees to let them know, because we've also got to turn it into IMRF or wherever that is pulling from.
What is our agreement with our unions?
I don't have that in front of me, but it goes up, I think the most it goes up is $50 a month each year. I wanna say that's for family.
So we don't have it tied to a
No.
percentage of the
No.
premium?
No. Unions, it's dollar amounts.
So then, by far, our retirees are subsidizing current employees when a price goes up.
I guess you could kind of make that
It
argument.
would appear that way.
Yeah.
I know when I retired, it's been a day or two ago, I retired at having to pay $200 a month, and within 3 months, it jumped from $200 to $600 a month, and it's steadily gone up since.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at our stop loss ratio here, I mean, we had 138% loss ratio, which is pretty significant compared to 25% last year. You know, 1.2 million, 1.3 million in stop loss claims paid, so.
Right, but anytime you have a different algorithm, you know, for two different classes on the same insurance plan, obviously the cost share it has potential to change. So, it's clear that we have some scenarios in our community where what this is doing is putting our retirees at risk of, you know, greater risk of not being able to afford bills because their rate of growth on their health insurance has grown much faster than an employee's rate of growth on their health insurance. And so that's at least a problem statement that I think we need to tackle. I recognize we can't do it for this particular year, but I think that that's definitely something
Yeah.
Something that's gonna
that we
have to
need to
come back
look at.
around when we do contracts.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when you have to choose between eating and paying for insurance.
Sure,
And this is gonna sound really harsh, but they don't have to stay on our insurance.
sure.
We do offer, they can leave once and come back.
That's just department heads or non-union personnel.
No, that's everybody.
Is it every?
It's everybody.
Yeah, you get one chance to leave.
Yeah.
Because we went through this with somebody 3, 4, 5 years ago, where somebody left and came back,
Yeah.
and they found that ours was cheaper than what they went to the marketplace for.
Yeah.
So we
you know,
did have a similar scenario to what we're dealing with
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I think when the rates jumped a significant amount, like 3, 4 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you don't wanna say if you don't like it, get off, but, you know, check and see what your other options are and maybe try them out if it's comparable. But, you know, without knowing everybody's financial circumstances and their health circumstances.
I
But
understand what you're
absolutely
saying. I'm
have
just
that
wondering, I'm
conversation.
asking out loud, I'm trying to identify a problem,
Mhm.
or at least let's not even call it a problem yet, okay? But let's identify a phenomena, and then let's decide if that's what we want.
Okay.
Because as it is, we are treating current employees and past employees slightly differently here. And I think we should wrestle with, is that the way we want it?
Well, if nothing else, if one retiree leaves, now the other retirees have to compensate for that
Sure.
one
But
as
also
well.
remember,
Yeah.
this is their negotiated contracts too. It wasn't us that decided on the
Yeah.
50%, that's their negotiated contracts.
They're the ones who decided that one.
Can you explain that to me again?
When I started on the police department back in 1987, we got insurance covered 100%. And then through negotiations, then we started paying a percentage. And retirees received 100%. And then through contract negotiations and the push and pull between the management and the employees, you know, we started off, I can't remember what the initial percentage was that retirees paid, but eventually it grew to the point where it was 50%. So this is all negotiated contracts.
So
It's
is
not just us deciding, hey, they're gonna pay 50%, this is what they
This is what they
negotiated.
agreed to.
Okay, Mayor, so I think that this is meaningful education. That this is more tied to union negotiation than it is city decision.
Yes,
So when they were.
but that doesn't mean it can't be changed. I mean, for the people that are already,
Doesn't mean we can't try to help.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, but
We can look at
but
it.
we can't unilaterally
No.
change the situation.
No.
It's definitely something that
That's-
union representatives.
That's what I was saying, we can't
We
really do
can't
anything
change the
until the next
percentage.
contract negotiation.
All right.
We can't change the percentage that they're paying, but we could possibly maybe work on the amount.
Okay. Yeah, good information, good education. I think just as much as anything, we needed to have this conversation
yes,
publicly.
yeah, absolutely.
While we still have them online, any questions for the representatives from Cottingham and Butler?
I think you guys covered it for me.
Do they have anything they wanna share on top of that?
Did you guys hear that? Do you have anything that you wanna share at all?
We're having kind of a hard time hearing clearly, I mean, we're catching the gist of it, but, you know, we can show the city what it would cost if we did everyone at
definitely somewhere to start,
Yeah.
to look, so. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you, please let us know how we can help.
Will do. Thanks.
Take care.
Any other comments, suggestions, concerns? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item C, bill number 26-28, ordinance granting a special use permit to Marcus and Bobby Thornburg for property located at 531 Elliott Street. This special use permit was requested by the Thornburgs to operate a short-term rental, often referred to as Airbnb. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? Please call the roll.
I do have a discussion. We ran into this with Airbnb last time.
Are they aware of the taxes?
Yes.
They will get the forms, yes, and they will have everything explained to them.
I'm not saying that they're not, but yes, as long as, because we ran into one where it was a significant amount of tax money, and then they wanted us, they thought it was in, yeah.
Yeah, no.
So
it'll
as long
be-
as we don't run into that
it'll be
situation,
clearly
we have somebody
explained.
running their own Airbnb for the first time.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah, please call the roll.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item D, bill number 26-29, ordinance granting a special use permit to Autumn DeCoster for property located at 304 Whitney Avenue. This ordinance would grant a special use permit to Autumn DeCoster to operate counseling services at the listed address. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
Honestly, I really felt like the planning commission covered this one well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There was a lot of
A
notes.
lot of notes.
Tons of them.
So,
There- and I
wanna
was
say
at the
thank you to
meeting
the
and
planning
the-
commission.
Yeah, and I went to that meeting and I thought it was handled very, very well. 'Cause- So I can't think of anything that was not covered.
Mhm.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item E, bill number 26-24, resolution authorizing city manager to execute a joint funding agreement with IDOT for project P92-096-26, otherwise referred to as South Street Project. This resolution will allow the city and the Illinois Department of Transportation to enter into an agreement so we can move forward with the necessary repairs to West South Street. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion?
Just again, can we get an update on where we're at, what engineering work is or has been done, what is underway, and kind of like what the rough Gantt chart looks like out to completion?
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Right into it.
Okay, got it. So yeah, I'll go back as far as I need to, I guess, and remember, so back in June of last year, we came out, looked at the project, we identified it for your federal funds, and you've got, just a few different segments through town where you can use that funding. I think it's been 2013 on Division Street, I think is the last time you used some of it, so it's been building up. And Gary, at the time, the administrator, had given us, I know this is kind of small, but he'd given us a map. He'd given us a map where we circled off kind of the 3 locations. And priority to that center section was the first. It's about just a little under 1.5 miles, that total, that falls under the federal jurisdiction. And I'm gonna tell you that it's about an even third is the way it laid out with that.
And to be clear, it doesn't go to the hospital, it goes to
From
the intersection of County Highway 41.
County Highway 41, and then it starts at 34.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so we agreed to do that, brought an agreement up, and we got that agreement from you, kind of worked through, we got it back in October, we sent it to IDOT right away. We are forbidden to do anything until we get this agreement back from IDOT. So nothing has been done on it, we haven't jeopardized any of the use of that money. However, we can't start now until you guys get this whole joint agreement
We
executed.
can't start what?
any design. We can't do anything on it until you get approval from IDOT. So,
So I'm slightly confused on if this is additional budget.
It's the same. So
It's the same.
the one that you guys approved to work with Hutchinson is this. This IDOT is just putting the official numbers on it. We're required to pay 10. They're basically gonna pay the rest up to 40, 50, I don't remember without looking at the number.
So the work up till now is covered by,
There has been no work up till.
there's no work been done yet, none.
so, okay, so tell me again what we did between July and now?
We waited for the
It's at
state.
It's at IDOT.
Waited for IDOT?
As I understand it, it looks like they found central office got back with them, I think sometime in January. The court, I reached out to them and were like, hey, where's this at? And then I got the federal highway coordinator, Laura Conley, emailed me back and said, hey, JD, sorry, I've got to query somebody else and find out. And looking through her emails, I think it said something about there was a missed step or something they found back in January. They got on it right away, got everything sent back to you guys. So,
Okay.
so anyway, because, yeah, we'll get started on it. Casey, I think we had talked about, at this point, we'd like to get this thing going, so as soon as now IDOT gets this back to you with their blessing, we can get started and shoot for a September letting.
Recognizing we've had some personnel changeover since July. Who, in your mind, the city or Hutchinson, should be responsible for shepherding that through IDOT?
I sent that email only because it typically takes them a while to turn it back, so, if you think I should have sent that email.
No, man, I'm just
Going
asking, I wanna
forward.
make sure, is it key, like, is that something that we contracted through Hutchinson, or is that a city staff responsibility to make sure that that gets through IDOT?
And just asking for clarification,
Just
so we
asking
know
for
going forward, is
So
that
going
my
forward,
job
now
or is
that
that
we've
your
got-
job?
Yeah, this is not a blame game, this is like a, hey, we
But
are
how
trying
do
to
we,
get better.
how do we rectify this going forward to make sure that we know exactly what we're playing with and is it this or that, so that we can get things accomplished in a timely fashion?
Yeah, we typically, when I'm emailing IDOT for you on behalf of your projects, I'm copying all my city staff liaison typically, be Chris at the time, at that point in time back then, it was Gary. This one here, though, wasn't a misstep on anybody here in the community's part. It was something that IDOT, I think one of their staff members didn't get something back to central office in Springfield, as I understand from reading the communications from IDOT. So, and like I say, when I send
And
something
again,
out.
like, what I want is a cadence, like, and what to expect in the future, because July to, here we are, April,
Yeah.
just for like an approval to get going on design engineer work is, in my mind, should be outside of standard, right? So it's like, kind of like, I'm wanting to know how we as a city staff can get better at being like, hey, okay, it's been 2 weeks, we need to check back in. Hey, it's been 2 months, we need to check back in.
These are the list of projects,
Yeah.
this is the last time we've talked to somebody, where do we stand? So that we don't, if you would have sent that email in January, we probably still wouldn't know where we're at with this.
Yeah, and my email wasn't, it wasn't aggressive or anything, it was just
No.
said, hey, I diaried out, this is about the time I would have been seeing that agreement come back, because it takes them 60, 90 days,
Yeah.
that's just their typical turnaround time, and I didn't get it back, so that's when I sent the email, and they, like I say, kind of followed up on it, so, and I'll continue to do that, serving you folks on these projects, but.
Well, really,
Copy also.
January is like 180 days.
No,
almost.
October 16th is when I got the agreement from you, and I sent it to IDOT, so I got the agreement, from Gary on.
I think that this one was July 28th. Are you saying that we didn't give it to you for 3 months?
I'm positive,
So that's another piece of the count. All right, I think we've already got that one fixed.
Okay. Yeah, let me,
No sweat. I really,
No.
we are in like root cause analysis mode here. We're not blame game mode at all.
Okay.
I'm just trying to make sure that we understand the process, so we know how to continue to help our staff learn the process, and so that we get better, because we've had a lot of personnel changes.
okay, yeah.
The council meeting is July 28th, I've got my notes here, is when and then nothing got back to you till October.
Check.
So that was the cog in the wheel right there.
I was gonna say, and I'm sure I send everything, to IDOT.
No, you're
I'm
good,
sure
like,
it's FedEx, cause I send everything to
but
IDOT.
once you said that right here, I've got all the notes from Hutchinson, and nothing got back till then, so.
Okay.
So it was July 28th when we approved it.
Yeah, cause I had Nolan, if you guys remember, I had Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan,
come out,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
he took a look at South, and he's the one that kinda told me, he goes, gee, I think we could do all three priorities with what you
Yeah.
have available for us to use, so that's why when we brought the agreement together, it includes all three. And here's what I would say, Chris. If we get to the point where we design this, the design won't, it won't have a shelf life, so we'll design it, we'll put it out to bid, but we already know kind of where we can compartmentalize it if the bids come in high. I know oil's high right now, and I told Chris that I'm not saying that I've got, my finger on the pulse of it, but as I've seen things spike, we have these acute spikes in the past.
Yep.
It seems like when we get this course correction, we never come back to that baseline where they were at before the spike. So I'm just warning you, I just don't know where we're gonna see asphalt. I got a really good bid that's out right now, that's gonna come in on the 24th of April, to where we're doing an alternate for PCC and an alternate for HMA. And I think it'll be right here in Henry County. And so we'll get some good bids, I think, to see how HMA is gonna be. But what,
So tell me PCC again, I'm sorry.
it's a concrete, Portland cement concrete.
Okay.
And that versus HMA, you know,
Yeah,
your hot mix
makes sense.
asphalt. But what I'm thinking, and the communication we've had going back and forth with Casey, is to try and get this design, get it ready for a September letting, and then put this thing out to bid. And then if we don't get bid pricing that we like, then we know we've got a later bid, we can put it on the November letting and that, and then try and get it, but shoot for the spring of 2027, then to get this thing. And we'll still, I don't want to fear you that, even though we'll have it in 3 phases, you know, we'll do all 3 phases, we'll do traffic control, because that is an artery that goes out to your, you know, care centers and stuff. And
So for notes here, and I'm glad I have this, because I'm glad you brought it up, that we approved that and whatnot. So looking at once we get this to you, what are the steps, what does that look like, what should we expect, so that way we can stay on top of it?
yeah, our hope would be to try and get the survey out there. We need minimal survey. We're just gonna, because it's a mill and overlay, we got some curving, if you guys have driven it, there's some section of curving that are gonna have to replace, some spot repair. I don't see anything detrimental underneath there. We're gonna talk to, I mean, obviously be some of your interest, whether, you know, you've got those raised delineators in there that looks like the snow plows have destroyed a lot of them. You see all those big pockets where they're missing. We want to talk to them about whether, I assume since you got the hospital out there, probably want to see if we can emulate that with something that's a little bit more residual, you know, in that for snow plows and stuff, but still have those delineators in there. The striping, I don't know if you guys do your own striping in-house or not, but we would probably put that into our plan set and everything. So we would do all that, get all that done, and like I say, try and get this ready.
So time frame, get all that done, what are we looking at time frame to get that? Like,
Well-
you said get survey out, what are we looking at getting somebody to survey that?
We would get the survey done, the design done, get this thing sent to IDOT. IDOT's got to approve the plans,
Yeah, yeah.
just like you guys would do.
So what's the time frame you think we can get all that done and get it tied out to approve it?
To get this for a September letting, we'd have to have pre-final plans to them 90 days prior. So I'm gonna tell you that, yeah, so it'd probably be July that we
So-
would have this to them.
In the past, we've seen financial quotes, business agreements come back that are just dollar pricing to do the engineering. Is it possible to have schedule in that as well? I mean,
I would like to see that.
because this kind of gray area of understanding, it makes it really hard on our side to plan projects, to budget projects, you know, I mean.
And even to know what projects are out there, because we got so many.
Yeah, I mean, like,
going on.
that's a source of frustration on our side as a council, that we approved $50,000 for Hutchinson to do this engineering. Now IDOT says you can go ahead and do the design, and we're still kind of feeling on firm footing.
Well, they haven't yet. I mean, this agreement has to go to them. They still have to, like, you know, approve your match and everything, and then send it back, give us the blessing to move forward. So, I mean, I think that'll happen quickly now with you guys, your resolution tonight that, you know, pledges your match.
But we're still not gonna do anything until next year, next spring, you said, right?
Yeah, we cannot start on this. And so once we start, yeah, the first thing we'll do is survey, it'll be minimal, then we'll get started on the design, we'll send the plans in, we'll send them here to the city actually at the same time we send them to IDOT for review. They'll come back, but to give you an idea, I mean, that back and forth sometimes can take 40 days, and then they will put it on a letting then, and then they'll put it on, then everything that we've had communication back and forth with Laura Conley, the FHWA coordinator, is shooting for September.
And this is just because this project is funded by MFT?
No, this is funded by STU, this is your federal.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
These are federal funds, not
Yeah.
MFT. MFT
Because of the
also has,
connection to the highways.
Yes.
Sorry.
MFT also has a long lead time, but the federal one has other components, and then central office has to approve it.
All right.
So by September, we should have letting out to get approvals and everything, so that we can start, spring of 2027 to get the actual work done.
Yes.
But that would require us to have everything done, approved, rubber stamp on it, and sent to IDOT by July.
Pre-final, yes.
Pre-final.
And then
They'll
comment,
do their own
send
little-
back, yep, and then, yeah, but it gives us time then to reply.
Do we have a fixed dollar amount of funds to contribute to this?
I can give you the latest that I have.
One, no, that's
Oh.
that's for the engineering. I'm
You
speaking
have,
about like,
the last, and Casey's probably got something that's more current than this, and, my arms are long enough, I can get this. You had, your STU unobligated was $1,536,252.69. That was before your 2026 allocation came in. And, I would say your annual allotments, well, your allotment for 2025 is $234,628.11. So I assume that that's going to your ledger. You can see that 1.5 is probably up about 1.75 now. So, and like I say, I feel comfortable we've got enough to do all three of those segments. But we'll have that designed in a way that if we had to scale back and you didn't have enough money to do the whole 7,200 feet, we could talk to you about how you want to.
So the three segments you're talking about go from 34 all the way to 41.
Yep.
That's the full three segments.
Yeah, that's all three.
Okay. Just so it's clear with everybody, why beyond 41, where we turn there, we didn't go beyond the hospital.
That's not your jurisdiction.
Correct. But, in 2 years when this gets done,
Sure, yeah, I was looking at that the last time this was done, and I think it must have just been a portion of it, I don't have the limits on it, but it was first time it was done, I assume this was the whole thing in 1997, looks like about $511,000, so that was probably when they did end-to-end, but then they did a portion of it back in 2004, it was about a $206,000 project, so that may have been just it's got a lot of alligator cracking in that, but it looks like it just did like maybe a 2-inch overlay at that time.
do we look at if they're already gonna be there, do we engineer it out past the hospital? Because, beyond that road's still not good. Going a little bit further, and use some MFT funds or something else,
Further to where?
to the hospital, because it's going to 41 right there, but not that extra, 500 feet or whatever.
No,
No, it's going all the way to the business spur.
no, what he's saying
From
the
34.
intersection east of the hospital all the way to here, 34. But it's not going west of the intersection.
it's not going west.
In front of the hospital.
Not the way I understood it. I understood it as going to the business spur.
Here's the project limits right here to there.
Oh, so it is going to Burlington?
Yeah.
See, I thought it was going to here,
Oh, no.
so we're going all the way to there, okay.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, okay,
That's where, federal
Okay.
funds can be used.
perfect.
in that
I thought we were cutting off
like to the turn to Midland.
to the turn to Midland right
Yeah,
there,
no,
and
we're
then not
we're
going
past the
there.
hospital.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine, because I thought these were broken up in three sections, and this one here was where we stopped, and then we're leaving that
The
chunk
business
of.
spur is actually 41.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Burlington, yeah, okay. Got
I
it.
thought that was weird too.
Yeah, I thought we meant to cut off in Midland, so
Yeah.
we're
We're
good.
good.
Okay, perfect. That answers that question. We don't need to do that.
Anything else?
So Casey, can we maybe set like something for July? close, as we get closer to July, as a calendar reminder where we're at with this,
Yep.
like, cause we have so many projects out there between all this, and I just feel like they get so convoluted and so lost, you know, we don't do this day to day. We're here, you know, and so not having a list of what project, where, you know, we on Sixth Street, we, this project, we on this, like, there's just so much that's out there and getting engineered right now. And I don't know where we're at, what we're doing, and so having some of these timelines, you know, maybe in June, are we getting close to getting done with this? So that we could send it in July for the state to approve, for IDOT to make their changes and then get it let out, you know, September letting. So I just wanna stay on top of this.
Yeah, we'll
and-
keep you informed along the way.
Yeah, understood.
Thank you for the information, JD.
Thank you.
Ready to vote? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item F, bill number 26-25, resolution appropriating MFT funds for the use of local agencies match for an IDOT joint funding agreement for the South Street project. MFT, or motor fuel tax, is a fund received from the state. Although it is listed as motor fuel tax, the amount the city receives is based on city's population, not by the amount of gas sold. Road repairs are an acceptable use of MFT funds. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion?
So I think this is why I thought they were MFTs. We've got STU, just Surface Transportation Program Urban. Is there any, like, is this the right funds to use? Motor fuel tax?
We can use these funds for this, so this is
The
our
match.
10,000 match.
This is our 10,000
We're
match.
gonna use
and we can use
10,000
this for
of
that
MFT funds on
because
that.
of the engineering.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Bill number 26-30, resolution authorizing expenditure of tax increment financing revenues for the improvement of public infrastructure in front of 104 West First Street. Repairs are needed to the city's right-of-way in front of 104 West First Street. This project is an eligible use for tax increment financing funds. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And discussion. So yeah, after the last council meeting, when you brought up using TIF funds, Chris and I looked at it. He looked at other projects that he has going and determined that the money he was planning on spending on this could go towards something else. And TIF funds will go to this. So thank you for that suggestion.
Please call the roll. Unless
Council-
somebody has more comments, please call the roll.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item H, bill number 26-31, ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a First Amendment to the tax increment financing TIF district and redevelopment agreement by and between the city of Kewanee and Jay's Place LLC. This ordinance is amending the original agreement between the city and Jay's Place. There were some discrepancies between the agreement and what was paid out. These need to be fixed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I don't know if I agree, and I would like some clarification from from our legal advisors, why this TIF agreement remains valid post-sale of this business.
Because he sold the LLC, not the building.
So the building
So,
has not been sold.
let me
Is
correct that
accurate?
statement. The building and the LLC was one purchase. If he had just bought, if Mr. Davis had just bought the building, then yes, Mr. Marchand would be responsible for paying part of the TIF back. However, because the LLC and the building was, the whole entire business was purchased, then
So I
Mr.
don't
Davis
believe
takes that.
meets the intent behind this. I
This is
mean,
coming directly from our TIF attorney.
I get it, but it's our TIF. So I'm not sure it meets the intent, because someone can profit from improvement of a business
And that's
with
right.
public funds
Or I'll sell it.
and then sell it and take the proceeds. That is not a precedent I think I'm ready to set.
I had the same question, and I was given the explanation of the selling of the LLC, and I know that has come across the desk before, and was told by the attorneys, the TIF attorneys, that that is acceptable.
So acceptable in our decision, I think, as I understand how TIF works, two different things, right? They make recommendations as to what's defendable. And oftentimes when I have discussed with our lawyers different things regarding TIF, they say, they turn it right around to me and, forgive me, Zach, do that lawyer thing where they say, I don't know, it depends. You know, what's your interest?
We can absolutely ask that any TIF agreement here on out specifically states, even
Well, I
if the
think that this one
LLC is sold.
specifically states it, and I personally would like to discuss recouping these funds rather than leaving them out there from the previous owner whom this agreement was made with.
Mhm.
I'm not sure the previous owners have a position to pay.
I mean, like, you know, whether we recoup them or not, you know, that's a different discussion, but it's about the precedent of how to use and employ our public funds that I want to maintain ultimate integrity of.
No, I'm not gonna argue, I mean, I saw problems with this myself, so I think there's still a lot of questions here that I would suggest possibly, you know, as uncomfortable as this one is, I think maybe we should get this, possibly table it and get some more clarification.
Yes.
I would be in favor of that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not ready to vote, give this one a positive endorsement, for sure.
It's a little money, just so, I need to rescind,
My vote, I'll rescind my vote.
I'll rescind mine.
and then a motion to table.
Motion to table?
I'll second that.
We will vote on a motion to table.
Motion to table, Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item I, bill number 26-32, resolution to affirm the mayor's recommendations for appointments to various commissions and boards. There are times when it becomes necessary to make appointments to various boards. Vacancies occur because terms expire, and in some cases, members resign. This ordinance will fill several vacancies. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion?
No.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Bill number 26-30, resolution rejecting bids received for the downtown reconstruction project. As most everyone knows, the city received a grant to begin renovations of our downtown. When bids were let, only one came back in. The bid was much higher than anticipated and would cost the city much more than was granted. In order to seek new bids, we must first reject the bid received. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion?
Yes, sorry, my notes are refreshing here. Come on. Anyway, I'm having a difficulty. With this, thank you. I was really
Yeah, there you go. I'll get you there.
Yeah, I think my question was about this, so if we haven't received the budget, the next bill that we're looking at is amending our annual budget appropriation and removing this from the revenues. So what I was asking earlier was, when will we lose these funds? Is there any expiration of the grant that was previously awarded where we must do something before losing the ability to recoup funds or submit invoices for repayment?
That
Because-
question wasn't answered in the, okay.
So we,
At this,
Christie,
I mean, at this point, we are many years down the road,
Sure.
and just want to be clear, kind of still, what, you know, what our opportunities are with this money.
Sure, so in some of the email exchanges that we've had rapidly in the past week, what we've learned from the grant people is that we are still eligible until the end of the year, so December 31st, 2026. They've also indicated that an extension would be acceptable beyond that.
so, end of the year to do what? We're still eligible to,
To go to letting, get the project approved, get underway, and, be eligible for the reimbursement.
where's the likelihood of that happening?
If we can reject tonight and we can go back out and reduce the scope, get it back out for new numbers by the end of the month or thereabout, we could be looking at July as like a start date, and then not completing the entire project this calendar year, but having it drag into next calendar year.
So as long as we start, is that what it is? If we start in July, we are fine, but it's not,
That seems to be what they indicated, yeah.
okay, we have to break ground, it's not, I mean, we gotta start doing work to get it by the end of the year, is what the grant says, right?
Even if, for whatever reason, we aren't starting in July, and we can get something prepared before the end of the year, they let us know that an extension is possible. So it's not, that by May 1st, it's not like we lose it.
Okay. I think my response, my personal response to that would be is, please do not have that in your mind at all.
Mhm.
That, like, from at least our perspective and the community's perspective, is that any further extensions of this timeline is
We don't want it either.
yes.
No, yeah, that's not our
Yes.
strategy at this point. Our strategy here is to get the rejection tonight, go back with the reduced scope that we want to target, and push it as quickly as we can.
Okay. And what further costs will that incur with our engineering?
So it should be minimal. It's basically just a reduction in scope. So we're not like materially changing any of the design elements or anything like that. I think we're getting close to reaching the limit on what we can spend on engineering costs for the project anyway. And with the reduced scope, there should be no
And
cost.
to be clear, are you reducing scope, or are you,
Eliminating project area.
so are we,
Tiering it,
phasing?
Yeah, the 2 blocks or so that we'll be targeting will be, the design work that's already been done on the blocks that aren't being targeted is still valid. And so, I think originally we actually were looking at 6 blocks.
Do we own the plans?
What do you mean?
Whose intellectual property are the plans, JD?
the engineering work.
The city owns them? Okay. Yeah, that's really,
To be able to expand beyond it, so if we do 2 blocks and we do another 2 or whatever, we have the plans, we can match.
Yeah, yeah.
And we don't have to go out and get more engineering
So
work.
literally, we are kind of, we talked about a lot of options, right? And it's the same scope, it's just,
Minimize. Reduce.
changed it into A and B efforts.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Are we, when we put it out for bid, are you planning to have it be ABC efforts, AB efforts, or just you're putting out two blocks?
I think that's where we need to make a decision. I think that basically the only divide right now is our engineering firm has suggested that we do Second and Tremont, and I think the preference of the city is the 2 blocks of Main Street.
Why are they saying Second and Tremont?
Because Main Street is a state route, so they just erred on the side of bringing improvements to the city property rather than the state property, but you know, it's our decision.
Are they err on the side of that too, that there may be some state funds coming or grants that we could get state fund to do that corridor at some point? Or is it just because we don't own that, so why would we improve something we don't own?
It could be that it definitely, it's more likely to be eligible for other stuff, but I didn't see anything mentioned about, that's our strategy.
To what degree are we doing road surface of those 2 blocks? I don't recall exactly.
It's going to be fully redone, so they'll remove everything down to like dirt level.
On Main Street, so we are improving 78, we're not just doing the sidewalks there.
Yeah.
Is that by design? Do we have to do that? Is that an opportunity to de-scope and just do the streetscape and not the street?
Potentially, I think I was just talking with JD, and he says there's room to negotiate there. So it may be that because we have a single bidder, we can go and negotiate with that single bidder and have them sort of a la carte, get into the price range that we're looking for.
Have you had meetings with our bidder?
No,
Have we discussed an industry day or put that out? Any feelers out for that?
not yet.
We've discussed it internally, but not with the people that hold the plans.
Is there a scope in this that we have to take that 78 down to dirt? Can we grind it down, repave it, whatever, I don't know the term for it, but then do more sidewalk scapes, maybe get a block around the corner? Is there something that we could do to reduce state highway, more sidewalks, streetscape, and then another block potentially?
Well, just from my perspective, Chris, the reason that I personally, I'm just saying this, I know we've talked about it, but I'm just saying it for public edification, a reason not to do Tremont and Second is because the plans that we have don't reimagine the streetscape. It just replaces the streetscape with new, and so we would do nothing new in terms of getting outdoor dining or expanding opportunity for businesses. There's still going to be replacement of trees in addition of shrubs and other landscaping. I think more work could be done there to reimagine Kewanee's downtown.
The downtown district right there,
Yeah.
when you come in.
And so, anyway, that's just my input there.
Yeah, it's some interesting concepts I think you just raised, and I think all of those options are on the table. I think the simplest would just be to reduce project area, but if we want to have specific items either excluded or included or expanded, we should work together on that to make sure that we're getting exactly what we want before the end of the month.
Well, I'm very concerned about taking Main Street between First and Third down to dirt and letting it stay that way through the winter season. And I'm just following off of what you said there about starting work this calendar year and then continuing it and finishing it next. I'm not sure Main Street needs it there. What's our PCI say there? I'm not saying Main Street's great everywhere, certainly north of the
Yeah,
tracks,
that
it's not
sounds right.
It
good.
doesn't need that though.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't need that.
that's why I was getting at, can we mill it, throw some, whatever?
I mean, I know we shot for the moon here, but we also took 3 years to do it, and now everything costs 3 times as much.
Sure.
Is that, and to my knowledge, there's no underground utilities down Main Street that would be compromised if we did a more surface correction.
No.
What IDOT approvals would we be putting at risk schedule-wise if we de-scoped this in that, at that magnitude?
Yeah, I think if you make a change like that, you definitely go through some more approval than what we're currently looking at.
JD, I'll just be clear, this is my frustration, that when we had the meeting here last August, I don't feel like these plans were touched at all between then and now. And I'm not sure just exactly, but I know that you guys have heard some grumblings of dissatisfaction. And I don't know if they're misguided or not, but that's where they're focused. So, I don't know if I'm more clear on what our options are or not after this discussion. So, like, can we work with this offer to negotiate
Yeah.
and not reject this?
Yes, I think that, well, not reject, I think we need to reject. I think that once we do, then it opens up the opportunity for us to negotiate, as long as we maintain that single bidder as our chosen contractor for the work.
Tell me again why you think we need to fully reject rather than call them and
Negotiate?
have a, you know, a post-bid meeting.
Because what they bid on was 4 blocks, and if we're not accepting that, then it needs to be rejected.
Okay.
You have something, Judy?
Yeah, please correct me if I'm wrong. So, and I have been on, and I'm not trying to skirt your remarks at all. I know Shane and Marcy and Andy did these plans and did this bid. I've tried to help out where I can, but they were the nucleus on this. As I understand it, since you just had one single bidder, and they've talked this through about the logistics of it, I think you can negotiate scaling back the limits, taking maybe some of those design elements like you're talking about and changing that. I think you may have the flexibility of doing that because you didn't have multiple bidders and you're not changing the playbook, I guess, you know, for one person when others didn't get that opportunity. So that's what I heard, that's what I understand. And then I did hear the contractor said, yeah, they would keep unit prices and work with you on, if you want to scale back limits, I guess using the right semantic there. You scale back limits of it, they would hold their unit pricing, and that, I think they wanted to talk to you, and we put some alternates in there to maybe have some city forces self-perform some things. I don't think they were enthusiastic about that just because of the logistics of timing and scheduling.
Yeah.
And so I think they want to maybe talk about them performing some of those optional items and that, just to give them some cadence. So,
I actually
I don't
like that idea because it gives them total control over the schedule.
But what I would say is that I would want to kick it off because I don't understand the legality of whether tonight you would take an action to reject what they submitted and go back for discussions, or whether you would hold off on that rejection. That's out of my lane, I guess. I'd ask somebody else. I
So
don't.
we rescind the rejection, and then we go back and talk to them, and Zach, what?
To me, the question would be whether you're making material alteration to the bid, if it's material enough on that. I don't know whether having one bidder alone changes that procedurally. I would think you'd be rejecting and going back after that, because you are planning on scaling this back far enough to materially change it, would be what my understanding would be. Effectively, you're proposing a counter is what you're doing by way of restructuring the scope of the work.
And we don't even know what the counter looks like though, because they want to sit at the table basically and let us talk and communicate, so.
But procedurally, you're crafting a counter by way of that negotiation.
But if we're changing it drastically, would that have caused other people to bid? That's kind of been my thing, is if it's one block difference, or we're gonna take out doing street lamps, okay, that's one thing, but if we're completely changing, if we're drastically changing the scope or the size, we have to give everybody a chance to bid again.
It's a matter of degrees. How drastic
Yes.
of a change are we talking?
Yeah,
I still think we have a conversation with our current bidder. Even if we reject, as JD said, like, they wanna talk to us, they wanna figure out like how do we make this work?
sure, but again, I think you need to reject this bid, and then have that conversation, because you're rejecting it as a whole. You're not rejecting pieces, it's the bid as a whole. And whether we wanna go back and say, forget all of these alternates were alternates, now they're part of the scope, or whether we're dropping a couple blocks or whatever, we're changing things enough that it may affect if and how other companies bid.
Okay. Kristen, another question is, how can we support you in a full court press to get a successful scope of work out for letting?
I think if you're interested in keeping specific items beyond just keeping 2 blocks of what we currently have, then we need to know exactly what those are, and we need to push them to HEI and the contractor to make sure they're aware that it's not just a 50% reduction in project area, that there are specific items we want to include and exclude. And so, yeah,
I think my 2 cents to offer to the council is to do the main streetscape and resurface, mill and resurface Main Street, so it's new and striped, but in a scope of work that's completable this construction season.
okay, so you wanna leave it open-ended to the contractor to determine what that is?
I guess what I'm saying is I'm willing to hear, what our options are.
Okay.
But does that change the engineering design if we're gonna, change it from what we had, then do we gotta go re-engineer, JD? I mean, what are we looking at?
Obviously, a contractor's gonna want some construction plans that are gonna give them a, clear, opportunity to quote the work and bid the work, so I don't know what kind of you mentioned the street, what do you call it, street dining and things like that, I don't know what.
That's not our main street.
We're talking just Main Street, just
Yeah,
milling.
we're talking about reimagining. Reimagining is the downtown area, but we are trying to set a standard of,
That's consistent.
that's
too.
consistent.
So if you're just scaling it down, you're just taking stuff off or making minor changes, not necessarily adding new elements.
So if we, instead of tearing the road apart, those 2 blocks, we just mill and resurface, do we have to re-engineer that, or get more engineering design?
I'm gonna say it'd be minimal, that kind of stuff, if that's what you're talking about now. You obviously have.
Because the 2 blocks there, that Main Street right there, it's okay, it's not bad.
Yes, some of what I don't want to speak to this because I'm not sure about how much of that's being done because of the topography, because for the ADA requirements and this whole RDMS, grant program was for accessibility and trying to rebuild some of the downtown, so.
That's a good point.
I don't want to speak,
How
yeah, I
will
don't
it
want to speak
impact
to what
elevation?
those elevation changes require for that road surface, because it's gotta meet whatever they were
Right.
trying to do for those transitions, and they're drastic on Main. So I better wait and let somebody else that's more technically prepared to talk about that, speak to it.
If there's engineering drivers that are immovable, that makes
Then,
sense.
yeah.
I feel like there might be some, because I just remember us talking about that park, I know some people had a little consternation with how much parking they were gonna lose on that first block of Main on that southwest, or that, excuse me, that northwest corner, that intersection. I feel like, to try and get those elevations where they needed, they were losing more parking spaces than everybody was comfortable with. So, I just remember.
I do remember that conversation, but
Yeah.
we also talked about changing the orientation of the ramp.
Yes, right, and so, and that's where if you say that plan hasn't changed, I have not seen that, so I don't want to speak to it.
There's something to finish again, Chris, tomorrow.
Okay.
So either way, though, we have to reject
Sounds
this
like
type.
it.
I would, yeah.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item K, Bill number 26-34, resolution amending the budget for fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2025 and ending April 30th, 2026. Staff has found a few more items that were not accurately accounted for and have asked that this resolution be tabled until they can be sure all things are appropriately documented. So I would like a motion to table this item.
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item L, Bill number 26-35, ordinance amending section 92-06, rates of charges of chapter 92 cemeteries of the Kewanee City Code, establishing fees for the use of city cemeteries and their services. Cemetery fees have not changed in nearly 6 years. Currently, fees charged do not cover city expenses. This is an effort to cover those expenses. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion?
I know that when Kevin was here, there was some perpetual care or whatever, and there was a reason behind some of the fees not going up at certain times. Does this meet the, I forget what it's called, but does this meet the requirements of what we could do?
With perpetual care dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, in the agreement, it's only, it's formalized, it wasn't in the previous agreement, but it's formalized only for legal use of perpetual care funds. So.
Sorry, this isn't for the agreement, this is for the code itself.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was taking notes while you were speaking.
You're good, you're good.
So, well, I'm sorry, repeat the question again.
I mean, the burial, I mean, the amounts that we're looking for.
Oh, right, yeah, so, the fee change includes perpetual care. In our previous ordinance, it was 10% for everything after, October 2020. And so we're just applying that across the board, going forward. And it's included in the amounts that are on that simplified table.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, it just, there was, I can't remember what it was, and I have to, I mean, it's been so long, but we always ran a deficit at the cemetery, and there was a reason because of the perpetual care and something like that, and there's only so much that you could get from that, 10% of it or whatever. And it seems like we're trying to rectify that.
So it's, and I could be wrong, but I think what you might be talking about is, so that money gets invested and we
Right.
can spend basically the dividends from it. And
Right.
so that's where the limitations lie, not how much they can be raised.
Then why haven't we raised rates and,
So that's why we're raising
okay.
it. Because we look at, you know, the.
I mean, we
what
look at the budget
what we
every year, and we're $200,000 in the cemetery, and we're like, well, why? And it's just, well, we can't, well, you know, and it's always been perpetual care or something with those dollars, and it's just,
Yeah.
and I've asked it a million times until I was blue in the face, and I still didn't understand it.
If you look at the perpetual care distribution, it's like between $15,000 and $20,000 for the year.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it wouldn't cover.
No, not at
the
all, but that was kind
cemetery
of and I can't remember all the conversations around it, but I asked a million questions at budget time a few years ago about this, and I'm like, wait, we're running a deficit on this, and we're not raising the rates, and there's gotta be a reason why, and it doesn't make sense, so.
Right, and these are tied to updated, going into effect May 1st, labor and equipment rates for the next fiscal year.
Okay.
Continue to take a critical eye towards everything. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, this is, I mean, all credit to Eric, our cemetery sexton.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
He raised this to me and he suggested that we raise the rates because it's been a while
pass along our things. Obviously, you know, great ideas come from all levels of the organization.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Item F, Bill number 26-36, resolution approving agreement for care for burial grounds between the city of Kewanee and St. John Paul II Catholic Church in Kewanee. The city currently has an agreement with St. Paul II Catholic Church for the Catholic Church Cemetery. This updated proposal aligns fees with the suggested fee schedule proposed in Bill number 26-35. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
And any discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Comnic.
Aye.
Councilmember Colomer.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich.
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye. Next item is discussion only. Misty's TIF. This is a discussion on TIF application submitted by Misty's Bar at 605 Northeast Street.
So, sorry, I
Go
didn't mean to
ahead.
cut you off.
No, go ahead.
This application started a long time ago. Finally got all of the documentation for it. I sent it to the TIF attorney just to kind of get their thoughts and opinions. He agrees with what you had said previously, that there will be a very minimal, if any, tax increment in this. And so again, that's why I wanted to put it in front of you guys to see if you had any other suggestions. It doesn't qualify for facade or obviously TIF or other things, but I'm always looking for other suggestions, what you guys might be willing to do before I go back to the owner and say, oh, we can't do
What
TIF.
other programs do we have? We have don't we have a
Micro loan?
Really, microloan is our only option.
Because I for one am not in favor of a TIF, so I would definitely think they need to search for other options.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
the microloan, go back to them with that.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's our only
Yeah,
option.
I-
It's,
Micro loan.
That
That's
needs,
the, that's
yes,
the,
that's,
the program. So.
it'll have more than it had previously, and I will be bringing stuff to you about that.
Then I would rather use the revolving loan fund process, which is far more robust than it's still my opinion that the microloan was a tool during COVID that is no longer necessary for good, fiscal responsibility.
Okay.
That's just my opinion in general on microloan.
Right. I think the revolving loan is, just as good, so.
Well, it gets you to the same place.
Exactly.
It just makes sure that we're taking less risk.
Yep. And mitigating the risk on the city side is essentially what we want.
Sure.
Okay.
anything else to add? We'll move on to the last item on the agenda, proclamation for Arbor Day. I will now read that proclamation. Whereas in 1872, Nebraska Board of Agriculture established a special day to be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can be a solution to combating climate change by reducing the erosion of our precious topsoil, by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderating the temperature, cleaning the air, producing life-giving oxygen, and providing habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of businesses, areas, and beautify our community, and whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a resource of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Gary Moore, Mayor for the City of Kewanee, do hereby proclaim April 24th as Arbor Day in the city of Kewanee, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodland areas. Further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated 13th day of April 2026.
So just to keep you guys updated, part of this goes along with the USDA grant that we received. We will be planting a tree somewhere on city property and putting a plaque stating that we received donations. So Kathleen has already reached out to get some quotes on a couple different types of trees to see, what our options are, and we're open to suggestions. It's Berrien Park has been brought up, but if you guys have any other suggestions on where you might like to see a new tree planted, let us know.
Are they, when you're saying open options, are you saying open options to types of trees?
So
Or
we,
placement, or both?
not replacement trees.
No, placement,
Oh,
sorry.
placement. It just needs to be somewhere on city property, and like I said, she's looking at a couple different varieties. We follow the USDA guidelines on native trees.
Yeah.
And obviously not ones that are nuisance trees like willows or anything like
Sure.
that. So,
I think if we look at the
Something
location,
majestic.
yeah, something that's native to this area that would, be low maintenance and serve
but
a
I think
purpose.
also low maintenance, but providing a level, like you look at Berrien Park, there's not a lot of shade over there, so
Yeah.
something that would provide some shade, something that could be,
We'd also place an area that wouldn't hinder our efforts to make that a Christmas display.
You wouldn't want to interfere with
yeah.
the carnival,
Nope,
the
I
farmer's
know.
market.
But I mean,
some
even-
shade, but not take
Not
away.
too
Yeah, we
much,
wouldn't wanna
yeah,
put it like
exactly.
right in the middle.
Right.
We-
I was saying, it actually kind of helped the farmer's market.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, depending on where.
That's,
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it from a standpoint of when Hog Days is there and the
Yeah.
farmer's market is something that would benefit,
Helps but not hinders.
correct.
Yep.
Doesn't take away real estate from certain areas, but also gives a level of,
Yeah. So once we get those bids back, or quotes back and kind of decide on a tree, we can, show you a couple mock-ups of where that might work and see if that works for you guys.
Perfect. Okay, unless anybody has something they want to get off their chest about Arbor Day, we'll move on to council communications.
Well, I am a member of the Arbor Day Foundation.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they gave me little address labels, a couple free trees.
And with that being said, you are first for communications.
I don't know if I can follow that.
How do you?
I've always supported the Arbor Day Foundation ever since I was a kid and brought home my little pine tree stick. So I've always been pro-tree. Well, congratulations to VC again.
Thank you.
I think we made a great decision there, and I look forward to kind of seeing where we go. And then the only other thing is we have, warmer weather and stuff like that. I hope everybody gets a chance to get outside, go to the parks, go for a walk, maybe pick up some litter on your walk, and take pride in the city. Yeah.
One of my grandsons gets to start the summer with a brand new cast.
yeah.
Lucky him.
Broke his wrist roller skating.
Hey, I've been there. I broke my elbow roller skating once, except I was 40.
Councilman Collimer.
This past Friday, there was a pretty amazing event that was put on for my daughter, and her brain tumor that she had. And I can't say thank you enough to this community. I mean, it is amazing how they've rallied around my daughter, and what everybody's done. And special shout out goes to former police chief Nick Welgott and his wife Shelley for thinking about this, putting it together, and the Welgott Mafia clan, and everybody from police and fire that had helped and done stuff for this event. It was a pretty cool event. Thanks to the Elks for sponsoring it. It was mouse racing, and it was something fun. It was something different. It was a blast.
It was definitely different. I've never heard of mouse racing before.
I had that either. And just everybody that's rallied around my daughter, and what we went through as a family, and the money raised that goes to medical expenses and stuff. And the big thing that the Welgott Mafia put out of this is paying it forward. you know, when Nick went through his, and still battling his cancer, is a big thing that they wanted to do with their money. And we will be doing the same. We're thinking about what to do and how to use some of these funds to pay it forward to different people or anybody in need on this side of it. But thank you to everybody who has been a part of her journey. There's so many people that I can't thank them all, so I won't even try for leaving somebody out.
If
But
you forget somebody, they'll be hurt.
100%. So thank you to everybody, but especially the Wagat Mafia, because that was pretty awesome on Friday that they put together, and she had a blast. I mean, a little bit of gambling with some house bucks, so I think we created that in her, but it was a lot of fun to bring to this community and have and raise some good money for her. So thank you to everybody that supported her. That's it.
100%. It was a great night.
How
It
are
was
you
really
gonna
neat.
follow that?
Yeah, no, tough too. But yeah, just want to welcome Nom Nom
Yeah.
to the community.
Well,
A new restaurant there where the building there where Social Corner used to be. So went there last night for their opening night, and everything was really good. It was great food, so hopefully people make it out there to sample that. I know that there's things going on this weekend, line dancing out at the stables on Saturday, if people are looking for things to do.
Fat Boys will be there.
That's another good opportunity, get good local food. They're great, so.
They're amazing.
And to Casey, thank you. Thank you for stepping into the void, and shepherding us, through the transition, to your department heads and the staff within the building that kept us going. Thank you for walking us through the search that ultimately led us home. You know what I mean? So we did our due diligence, right? We found out what was out there, and finally, thank you for stepping up and serving your community. So we're super excited to have you, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and speak for Councilman Baker. And we'll move on to mayor communications. So, I just want to say thank you to our telecommunicators. This is the official telecommunications week, so in my 25 years in the police department, there were days where I had to sit on that radio, and I'm telling you, when it's easy, but when it's hard, I'm telling you what, I don't know a harder place to be sitting when things go bad. That's a tough place to be. So our telecommunicators, they earn every penny that they get, so, thank you to them. And that is all I have, and I do believe we have city announcements.
Citywide cleanup will be held Saturday, June 6th from 7 a.m. to noon at the old hospital site. For more details, see our Facebook page or pick up a flyer at City Hall.
Hey Gary, before we end, I also want to thank Courtney for stepping up in the finance role. I know, Casey, you're getting a lot of credit tonight, but Courtney has done a lot to get us to where we are today. And congratulations and welcome to the team as our new finance director. So really excited to have you on board. Thank you for all you've done to get us to where we are today. And I know we're going to be on in the future, so thank you for all that.
So, with that being said, how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Collimer,
Aye.
Councilmember Cernovich,
Aye.
Councilmember Comnic,
Aye.
Mayor Moore.
Aye.